Right now, live at 5, Northwest Wisconsin rolls out a new way to get a coronavirus test. The guidelines you need to know to get one. And Congress will begin debating the next round of pandemic stimulus funding when the Senate returns to work Monday, what they're considering including. Plus, restaurant owners around the country are getting creative when it comes to the business of food.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look over Lake Superior as we head into the weekend. Dave Anderson will be in to tell us how long the rain will last in just a few minutes. But first, let's get to today's top story. Good evening. I'm Anthony Mack. Kristen is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. More layoffs on the Iron Range. This time, U.S. Steel announced 260 Mintac employees will be out of work. United Steelworkers Local 1938 union leaders said they were notified of the layoffs today. Company officials say they'll start May 10th. Union leaders say they could last 8 weeks for plant employees and 11 weeks for pit employees. This comes as U.S. Steel plans to temporarily idle a number of blast furnaces at the Mountain Iron location due to COVID-19 impacts. That also means U.S. Steel will indefinitely idle iron ore production at Keetac. U.S. Steel says Canadian steelmaker Stelco is considering a 25% interest in Mintac's iron ore mining and pelletizing facility. Company leaders say that would enhance U.S. Steel's liquidity during COVID-19 financial struggles. More and more inmates at Minnesota's state prisons are testing positive for COVID-19. Right now, Moose Lake Prison's total is up to 34 confirmed cases. Willow Rivers is sitting at 47, and Lino Lakes has 1 confirmed case. Today, attorneys for the American Civil Liberties Union of Minnesota, who's demanding for Moose Lake inmates to be released, says their lawsuit is more important than ever. CBS 3's Leanne Valdez heard from both sides today.
Dan Schulman, an attorney with ACLU-MN, told me they want prisoners to be safe, and in order to do that, they have to test them, and they have to follow social distancing guidelines correctly. Schulman says their agency is getting horror stories daily, as he calls it, from the inmates at the prisons, alleging they're not being tested for COVID-19. They claim prisoners who have been confirmed COVID-19 positive are allowed to be with others in cells with 6 to 8 people at a time. Schulman says change needs to happen, starting with releasing low-level offender inmates.
If they have a place to go where they can safely socially distance and there will not be a danger to anyone in the community, that should happen.
Officials with the Minnesota Department of Corrections would not do an interview with us today. They did share a statement saying, in part, quote, the Department of Corrections has taken reasonable and necessary steps to reduce the spread of COVID-19 within the state's correctional facilities. They will be responding to the allegations in the ACLU's petition. The Department of Corrections staff say they are taking measures to combat COVID-19 cases in their prisons. Staff wear N95 masks, and anyone who has COVID-19 has to quarantine for 14 days.
Thanks, Leanne. Inmates aren't the only ones testing positive for COVID-19. 31 staff at Moose Lake Prison and 4 at Willow River are confirmed to have the disease. A number of other prisons across the state also report infected staff members. The majority of Minnesotans who died from COVID-19 lived in long-term care facilities. Today, state health officials addressed this issue, reassuring families that these facilities are safe. State Health Commissioner Jan Malcolm says of the 244 long-term care facilities with confirmed cases, more than half only have 1 or 2 cases. 21 facilities have 20 or more cases. She says the state is working with administrators and staff on best practices for preventing the spread. The state is aggressively tracking cases where they do pop up.
The majority of facilities, whether they're nursing homes or assisted living, have done an excellent job of preparing and preventing, and there are not cases in every facility.
Malcolm adds the higher mortality in long-term care facilities is attributed to the fact many people living there are older and have underlying health conditions. She says families should not take their loved ones out of these facilities unless they can provide the specialized care they might need at home. By the way, St. Anne's Assisted Living in Duluth has confirmed cases. Officials there will not confirm how many at this point. However, they previously told us some COVID-19 patients who lived there have died. Drive-through COVID-19 testing will now be available in northwest Wisconsin next week. The Wisconsin National Guard is working with public health programs in Douglas and Washburn counties to make it happen. The testing site will be in Solon Springs next Wednesday. It's free, but only available to Wisconsin residents. Anyone 5 years and older with symptoms is eligible for nasal swab testing. The National Guard is bringing supplies and handling the testing and labs. We have the symptoms as well as a map showing the testing site on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. Here's a quick look at the number of new and active coronavirus cases in our area. Michigan has nearly 1,000 new cases with 30,000 active cases and nearly 3,900 deaths. Wisconsin has more than 700 new cases, 3,800 active, and 327 deaths. Minnesota has 594 new cases and 3,000 active with 371 deaths. Worldwide, there are 3.4 million cases, 238,000 deaths, and nearly 1.1 million recoveries. For the first time in more than a year, a White House press secretary held an official press briefing, and she says more are on the way. Skylar Henry is at the White House with more.
I will never lie to you. You have my word on that.
The president's fourth press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, held her first press briefing, defending the administration's response to the coronavirus pandemic.
This president has one priority, and that is the safety and the well-being of American lives.
President Trump toughened his rhetoric against China this week, shifting blame and suggesting the outbreak may have started in a Chinese lab.
Have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. The president is considering retaliatory measures against China pending an investigation, though his own U.S. intelligence community has concluded the virus was not man-made or genetically modified.
Intelligence is just an estimate, essentially, and it's up to policymakers to decide what to do with that intelligence. In this case, the policymaker is the President of the United States, and he'll make that decision at the right time.
Over on Capitol Hill, the Senate is gearing up to return next week. Despite warnings from the Capitol physician, there are not enough COVID-19 tests for all members. House committees will return to Washington to conduct in-person business and work on legislation, but the full House will not be in session.
It's unclear exactly what relief legislation will be taken up in the near future. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said she would like to see relief for cities and states, among other things, while the president's team has hinted at some type of relief for citizens. All right, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, drizzly, kind of cool out there today.
Indeed, drizzly, kind of cool, and a gray sky, but it's a good thing, really, because we do need the rain. That fire danger keeps rearing its ugly head, and this should help put it down for the weekend, alleviate some of the worries some folks have had. But will it end in time for Wisconsin fishing opener? Well, let's take a live look on the Minnesota side of the border at one of my favorite lakes. We'll see how things are looking on Robinson outside of Ely. We've been watching it stay iced up, but this latest picture shows ice is out, and I've received some pictures from nearby Armstrong Lake from some Ely folks. Ice is out there as well, so that bodes well for the Wisconsin fishing opener tomorrow. And indeed, this low pressure system should be done just a couple hours after midnight, and then by tomorrow morning, it's going to start to clear up and warm up as well. Wisconsin anglers, you're going to have a westerly wind 5 to 15 just about all day long. Your low temperature, not so bad at all, 48 above. Could crack 70 in the afternoon, and if you're going to do some fishing tomorrow evening, only falls back towards 55. So a warm and sunny weekend after tonight's rain. But once we get into Monday, it could rain up again and cool down for a spell. We'll talk about the duration coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, taking the movie theater home with you in Hibbing, plus a drive and wave between students and teachers in Ashland. City by City is coming up next. And stick around, because tonight at 6, we are learning more on how resorts in Minnesota are preparing for the state's opening weekend of walleye fishing.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS 3. Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on Live Local CBS 3 Duluth.
I don't know how we would have survived without Mediacom. We have 5 kids, and we have Mediacom for all of our internet and all of our cable services. So I'm stuck in my house, but at the same time, I'm connected to people all over the world. It's been fantastic.
Right now, we all feel like the world is in a standstill. The internet has played a huge role in allowing us to stay connected to our jobs and stay connected with the ones that we love. We couldn't do it without Mediacom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christine Ripp, a family physician at St. Luke's P.S. Rudy Medical Clinic. Biking to work sets me up to have a great mood and a great attitude for the rest of the day. In a health system where sometimes patients can be seeing multiple different specialists, a primary care physician puts all those together. We act as a team leader to make sure that they are getting the care that they need. What I'm doing is taking care of people and making them happier and healthier.
Real encounters with God are life-changing. Join us Sundays at 11:30 for The Message of Good Hope and learn how you can reach your highest potential through a relationship with Christ. Only on the Duluth CW.
Here at the Colorado Group, the health and well-being of our customers and employees is our top priority. Kohler has been privileged to serve this community for over 50 years. Our sales, service, and parts departments are open to serve you by appointment in order to provide a safe and healthy dealership visit. If you cannot make it to us, we will gladly come to you with a non-contact shopping or service experience. Please visit Colorado.com to set up your appointment today at any one of our family-owned dealerships.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over-the-air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
If you're over mac and cheese and PB&Js, have we got good news for you. Right now, get Pizza Hut's best delivery deal. Large pizzas with up to 3 toppings for just $9.99. Available for carryout or contactless delivery at pizzahut.com.
Here's a live look from Bayfield. Wisconsin's fishing opener starts tomorrow. We have some info that anglers need to know before they hit the water, but first, let's see what's happening around the rest of the region. Students found a fun way to greet their teachers in Ashland, plus bringing the theater home with you in Hibbing. That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. Do you want to bring that movie theater experience home with you? Well, if you live in Hibbing, you can. The area's local theater is offering curbside pickup of popcorn and other tasty concessions every Saturday from 12 to 7. Not only that, but 10% of the proceeds will be donated to organizations on the front lines of the state's battle against COVID-19. Moving across the Iron Range, where the Laurentian Chamber of Commerce is rolling out a new app to support small businesses across the range. The Shop the Range mobile app is a way for residents to connect with chamber businesses across the range by listing hours, phone numbers, and services. The app was originally scheduled to launch on Small Business Saturday in November, but was moved up to support businesses now during the COVID-19 pandemic. Over in Wisconsin, an Ashland school is out, but students and teachers are finding ways to connect despite the stay-at-home order. On Thursday, a drive-by and wave event was held between students and teachers from Marengo Valley Elementary. Parents and kids filled the school parking lot to greet their teachers from a safe distance. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, go ahead, send us an email, and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city. Still to come on Live at 5, how restaurants are trying a new approach to attract customers during the pandemic. Plus, Dave will have your fishing opener weekend forecast coming up.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to Live Local CBS3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
At Super One Foods, we're always looking for new talent to join our 5-star service team. We are a growing family-owned company that provides opportunities to learn new skills and enhance your working knowledge while serving your friends and neighbors. From flexible scheduling and variety in jobs to competitive wages and exceptional benefits, Super One Foods offers an excellent environment to grow both personally and professionally and can provide you with the foundation for career advancement in the communities we serve. Come join our team. Super One Foods. Jobs right in your neighborhood.
I'm Tom Tiffany, and I approve this message.
Who is Tricia Zunker? A leader of a far-left group that advocates for late-term abortion. A supporter of releasing violent prisoners into our community during a pandemic. And a radical liberal, Zunker would give free health care to illegal immigrants, further crowding our hospitals, putting your family in the back of the line, and making you pay for it. That's Tricia Zunker, and why we must stop her on May 12th.
Attention small business owners. Wright & Schulte LLC is currently investigating claims against Society Insurance for wrongfully denying business interruption coverage during the coronavirus crisis. If your business is insured by Society Insurance and your claim was denied, or if you have not yet made a claim, you may be entitled to money damages. Call the number on your screen or visit societyclaim.com for a free case evaluation to understand your legal rights. Again, call the number on your screen or visit societyclaim.com today.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app.
Take up to 25% off Columbia now at NorthwestOutlet.com.
Wash your hands. Avoid sick people and touching your face. There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Here over the hill on the north side of Duluth, we've already received 2/10 of an inch of rain, and we're expecting maybe 1/3 of an inch to fall from this system, which should start to fade away after midnight tonight. You know, Wisconsin fishing opener coming up tomorrow. I can remember so many Minnesota openers where the weather was just like this. Cool, rainy, not that pleasant, but this should break in time to get the boats launched tomorrow morning. So this is a short-lived and much-needed round of rain that's going to give us what we need to help keep the fire danger down at least a little bit here as temperatures warm up and skies clear up here for the weekend. Well, right now, let's take a look at our current conditions around the area, and many towns are just like Duluth with a gray sky and rain coming down. But on the fringes, there's some slightly different conditions. Still sunny towards Grand Portage, Grand Marais, and out towards Aiken on the sunnier side. Watersmeet, though, has just seen the clouds increase according to this map. And so what we're getting at is looking at a good 50 to 60% chance of rain getting to your neck of the woods, just in case it hasn't paid off yet. And then it should start to go away, like I mentioned, before sunrise tomorrow, setting us up for some pretty nice conditions that are going to be coming our way. Coming our way next, we have the current conditions at Duluth International. It's 49. Relative humidity 90%. South-southeast wind going 14 miles per hour. And a low barometric pressure reading at 1,011 millibars. But as early as tomorrow morning, yes, higher pressure is already going to settle in. And that's going to make things get back towards sunshine, both for Saturday and probably Sunday as well. Monday's a different story that we'll tell with the 7-day forecast. But the tail right now shows an occluded low pressure system sliding out of the Dakotas, running along the Canadian border, bringing us that chance for rain, which, like I said, probably will stick around till a couple hours after midnight before the next round of higher pressure comes aboard. So if we have 2/10 of an inch of rain here in Duluth right now, what are we going to get here by tomorrow morning? Well, another 2/10 is possible, and it looks like about 2/10 for many other towns as well, maybe towards 1/3 of an inch towards Two Harbors. The last go-around we had with rain, Minnesota got shortchanged. This time around, it looks like folks there are going to get more than Wisconsin or the UP. It's going to be fair and balanced. Tonight, Minnesota temperatures, pretty warm actually, 40 to 46 degrees for the lows, 60% chance for more rain in your neck of the woods, just in case you haven't seen it yet. Into Wisconsin and Michigan we go, where low temps there will be in the 40s as well, maybe as warm as 50. For the Hayward area, 50% chance for continued rain there for at least another 6 or so hours. And then for tomorrow in Wisconsin and Michigan, it should break towards mostly sunny, and high temps will run 65 to even 70 degrees. Not a bad day to be out on the water. Don't forget the life jacket, of course, and keep it on. Don't try to get it on when there's been problems and you're in the water floundering. That doesn't work too good. Minnesota highs 58 to 67 with sunshine, but changes are coming, Tony. The 7-day forecast is going to show by Monday, clouds go back up, rain chances form back up again, and temperatures take a bit of a dive. From 60 Sunday, we go to 40s and 50s for the rest of the week.
Hey, that looks like a nice weekend payoff, though, for what we're having to go through today. Thanks, Dave. Getting groceries hasn't been easy this last month for many shoppers, and staying open is tough for restaurants as well. So many restaurant owners are getting creative when it comes to the business of food. Here's Joy Benedict.
Bakery near Los Angeles doesn't look much like a tapas wine bar these days. The restaurant tried to convert to a takeout business.
It just wasn't enough to sustain us.
So Robert Cronfoley and his partner shut down and reopened as a local grocery store.
We have the eggs by the 15, the milk, bacon.
Using the food they already had.
Flour will open up a 50-pound bag and repack it into 5-pound bags. I just think it's what the neighborhood needs more than our regular menu.
It's a trend cooking all over the country.
This place wasn't supposed to be a grocery store.
At Chef Jeff's in Washington, D.C., Jeff Tracy, the husband of CBS Evening News anchor Norah O'Donnell, turned his dining room into a market. But food isn't his #1 seller.
Gloves, toilet paper, and bleach are #1.
He's also offering takeout, but still had to let 200 employees go.
We had 9/11 hit right around here, the financial crisis, and in none of those situations did I ever have to lay off a single person.
He's using any money made through his market to give to his workers. But it's not only locally owned restaurants that are turning into grocery stores. The national chain Panera is now selling fresh produce and dairy products for pickup or delivery at 1,800 locations.
When olive oil.
And Landry's-owned restaurants across the country are doing the same, including at the Gandy Dancer in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
We're selling 6 lemons for $2. You know, so that those are better than grocery store prices.
The high-end seafood restaurant is also selling sea bass and lobster tails.
The elderly people are extremely appreciative. They don't have to go into stores, and they can come and have groceries put in their trunk.
The pop-up pantries have become popular, but these restaurants are hoping they can soon bring back the dine-in experience customers are craving.
Well, back here locally, let's talk about some pets. Today's pet comes to us from the Schwamigan Humane Association. Meet Kobe. He's a handsome bully boxer mix with a big smushy face and perky ears. He's very loving and loves to keep people by his side, although he is a little bit too interested in cats. Kobe does have a lot of energy and can be a bit jealous, so it's maybe best if he's the only dog in the house. If you want to adopt Kobe, you can set up an appointment by calling the number on your screen. Still to come, Wisconsin's fishing opener is coming up tomorrow. What anglers need to know before they hit the water.
Hi, I'm Stephen Ray. At Miners National Bank, we offer local originating, local processing, local closing, and local servicing. For your next mortgage, apply now. minersmortgage.com.
Miners National Bank of Evelyn, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Trisha Zunker, and I approve this message.
Trisha Zunker, a community leader we can trust to put politics aside and deliver on healthcare and jobs when we need it most. Not Tom Tiffany. He opposed the law that protects patients with pre-existing conditions who are most at risk for COVID-19. And he spoke against the bipartisan bill signed by President Trump to help small businesses hit hard by the pandemic. Tom Tiffany. Bad for our health and economy.
I'm about to use the airplane's battery as a magnet.
Now! A new MacGyver tonight on CBS.
You're like the left brain to my right.
Woo! It's rather presumptuous you saying you have a brain.
I suggest you leave now.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Because after I take it from you, I'm then going to have to smash your ugly faces with it. He's going to help.
It's true.
A new Magnum PI tonight, 9/8 Central on CBS.
During this COVID-19 crisis, everyone is experiencing raised stress levels. Business is disrupted and consumers are scared. The result can create tense situations. The Better Business Bureau encourages everyone to treat each other with grace, respect, and empathy. We need to work together. When life begins to normalize, people will remember how they were treated during this time. If businesses and consumers treat each other fairly, these relationships will last far beyond this crisis.
Powerful change occurs when people unite. We unite people to activate positive change, to make lives better. Help us fight for what's right for all. Basic needs, access to health care, a good education, and financial stability. There's strength in numbers. Join us and live united. HLUnitedWay.org.
I'm Dr. Ann Stephen with Essentia Health.
And I'm Dr. Nick Van Dielen with St. Luke's.
We all want to do our part to keep our community safe.
And there is something very important that you can do to help.
Join Essentia Health and St. Luke's as we partner to collect 10,000 homemade masks.
These masks will be used by healthcare workers, patients, and visitors to help prevent the spread of COVID-19.
This is the land of 10,000 masks.
And know that we are very grateful for your gift.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Wisconsin anglers are packing up in anticipation of tomorrow's fishing opener, but you're asked to put the traditional fishing road trip on the back burner this year. This morning, state DNR and health officials made one last plea for anglers to only fish on nearby lakes tomorrow. They want people to abide by the state's Safer at Home order and not travel outside of their communities. Also, when getting ready to launch your boat tomorrow, you'll want to be prepared and give yourself extra time to allow for social distancing. DNR officials say that's where they expect to see congregating.
I don't want to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of anglers stacked up on each other at public launch sites. I hope that they take the time and the patience to sort of change their traditions a bit, because this is going to be different. It's going to be inconvenient, but we can do it in a way that protects each other.
A reminder that you can fish with people outside your family, but you should stay 6 feet apart from them, and you should not gather in groups of more than 10 people. You're also advised to wear a face mask and gloves. One of the nation's largest air shows is grounded. This year's EAA Air Venture Oshkosh event has been canceled due to uncertainty surrounding coronavirus. The 68th annual event was supposed to be held in mid-July. It usually draws hundreds of thousands of people to Oshkosh. If you already bought a ticket, you can get a refund or roll it over to next year. By the way, yesterday, Duluth Air Show organizers said their event, set for July 18th and 19th, has not been canceled.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, it's May 1st, and that means retailers and restaurants are allowed to reopen in 36 states. One of those states, though, had record deaths from coronavirus overnight. We'll have the latest. Plus, in places where orders haven't been lifted, tens of thousands hit the streets to protest staying home. And we go on the road and meet a 9-year-old who is trying to keep her parents in line by issuing tickets. That's all coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to live local CBS 3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m. You work hard for your money and deserve to see it go the extra mile. Join us Wednesday mornings and hear from local experts on tips to better manage your finances in Eye on Money on live local CBS 3. Brought to you by MPPL Financial.
They're live, they're local. Watch the CBS 3 News with Kristen Baki and Anthony Matt tonight at 6, right after the CBS Evening News at 5:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS 3. Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS 3 Duluth.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
On behalf of the over 400,000 accredited businesses that support our services across North America, BBB salutes those individuals who cannot shelter in place. Many remain on the front lines, delivering essential services, often at great risk and sacrifice, to enrich or save lives in this time of desperate need. Thank you. Eventually, the all clear will sound, and we will begin returning to normal. Hopefully, we will never forget how much we missed our normal while it was away.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the DW crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on social media and discoverwisconsin.com for behind-the-scenes content and great Wisconsin giveaways, including a chance to win a free vacation. This week's featured prize package could take you to Sparta. Just visit discoverwisconsin.com for details.
For the news that
what impacts you most. Turn to Live Local CBS3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from our Spirit Mountain Cam on this wet and rainy Friday evening. Let's take a quick look at today's top stories and a preview of what to expect tonight at 6. More and more inmates at Minnesota State prisons are testing positive for COVID-19. Right now, Moose Lake Prison's total is up to 34 confirmed cases. Willow Rivers is sitting at 47, and Lino Lakes has 1 confirmed case. Attorneys for the American Civil Liberties Union of Minnesota are demanding for low-level Moose Lake inmates to be released and treated properly. The agency is hearing what they call horror stories from the inmates at the prisons, alleging they're not being tested for COVID-19. Wisconsin anglers are packing up in anticipation of tomorrow's fishing opener, but you're asked to put the traditional fishing road trip on the back burner this year. This morning, state DNR and health officials made one last plea for anglers to only fish on nearby lakes tomorrow. They want people to abide by the state's safer-at-home order and not travel outside of their communities. Also, when getting ready to launch your boat, they say you'll want to be prepared and give yourself extra time to allow for social distancing. And stick around tonight at 6. Bad ice followed by a pandemic has left some Minnesota resorts putting all their eggs in the Minnesota's fishing openers basket. In late February, we took you to Lake Winnie, where High Banks resort owners said they had lost out on $65,000 at that point. Poor ice conditions were driving anglers elsewhere. Now, Minnesota's safer-at-home order is stifling more businesses. High Banks estimates it's cost them even more. But they say next weekend's fishing opener could bring a bit of hope. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll explain why. That's your news at 5. The CBS3 Evening News is coming up next. We'll see you back here at 6.